Yeah, I've been making films for about 20 odd years. No 20 odd years straight. My first movie had a big, massive gap, about 8 years. And this is probably the first time that ever, in the last few weeks, I've came to the realization that filmmaking for me will never be the same again. Um, and for me personally, in a good way, you know, because it's a very tough game. You know, it's a creativity that relies on money and everything else. You can't just go and create, so in a good way. But it's just starting to sink in the reality and the changes. I've been working with AI for this movie that I shot in October and December, so I've been working with AI for special effects shots, and I've been doing using AI kind of the smaller AI stuff like Grok for online promotion, which has really helped because when you've shot a movie in a few days, a feature film, if you started sharing clips from the movie, you'd run out of fucking stuff, so everybody's seen the movie before it's released, and I hate that. I don't like doing that, and there's only so much you can share. But because of Grok and AI, I could share all sorts of promotional clips that are in the movie that don't exist in the movie, spin offs, characters, mad promo shit. That's where it's really, really, really helped, without actually showing much of the film at all. But I've never actually, all those months since October, December, I hadn't actually used the other AI stuff like seedance, and I used a little bit of it. No seedance, but the Google One Flow or whatever had a little bit of use of that. But when seedance came in and Kling and stuff like that, and I started to use it in the last few weeks when I'm actually doing the work for the post production, it's let me see, Jesus Christ, what you can do. And for me, it works better when you've already got footage that you've made and you've shot the scenes with actors, and you've shot the locations. It really integrates well with that. I've not really got any interest at this time making a full AI movie, but it works well with that. But it's let me see. It's just starting to sink in the incredible changes in history since I've been making films. It's beyond game changing. Beyond it, it's just something else. To put it simple, I'm doing the shots in the film, and I shot in a club, shot in apartments, shot in streets, and shot all over the place. Pretty much contained though. And the stuff that I'm doing for the club, it made me realise that the next time that I shoot for the third film, um, if I needed a club, don't really need a club. I could make a club. I could make a club in AI. I could just have a space. I could make a club. But I like to get the actors in a space. I don't like them sitting in front of a green screen. I just don't like that. But if I need a big penthouse for a penthouse scene, well, I can get more, a more kind of whatever's in the budget size of place, and convert it into a penthouse in post production. If I needed a whole bunch of cars and a whole bunch of guns, if I needed an extra, the third movie was going to be a really big challenge as well because I need a lot of virtual dolls, like a doll fucking army. So you pay all these models or actresses, and it'd be like a nightmare the cost wise. I don't need to worry about that. I just need to have my main cast and a few others supporting, and I can replicate and I can do that in AI. Absolutely no problem at all. I can blow shit up. I can shoot with guns out in the streets and make it look incredibly real, almost that you can't tell the difference. Where it would cost thousands, could be dangerous, all sorts of stuff. You can almost do anything that the imagination allows, and it's just going to get better the next 6 months, And so everybody complains about it. I don't really fucking care. It doesn't matter to me. The world has evolved if you don't evolve with it. But I can understand if the movie business has always been good. The movie business has always been shit. It's always been a closed club. It's always been gatekeepers. So, most people don't make big movies or big films. Most filmmakers are working with 5, 10, 20 grand and making their little films in a contained space, or you're making a horror in a contained space. It's always the stories with always within the contained space and a few characters, and that's it. So you're working with a small canvas. It's always working with a small canvas, and that's just the reality of that. with AI, we don't need to really worry about the size of the canvas. We can work with a bigger canvas if you've got a bigger imagination, your bigger vision. Um, you know, and the way that the industry is, you'll never get big budgets, and if you do, they'll control everything, so you'll never really get. It's a counterproductive thing because even if you get into the industry, they control everything. Unless you're Christopher Nolan, you've had all this long-term success. So the only way you'll get to control something really the way that you want it and make it look like a bigger movie as well with a bigger canvas is through AI, you know. And it's just sinking in with me what can be done. It's absolutely fucking incredible. All the stories that I've had in the past as well are a possibility now that were impossible. Impossible budgets. I've got westerns, I've got, you know, all sorts of stuff that could be done in micro level budgets. Hey, you've still got to pay for credits in AI, and it's still expensive. But nowhere, if you calculate it, what a movie would cost and what it would look like, it just doesn't. It's beyond, nowhere near, what it would cost to make the film. So it's just starting to sink in. The way that you always make a film, I need to get this location, I need to do that. How are we going to do this? How are we going to pull this? So when am I going to get these cars? When am I going to, it's like all that is liberating that you're not restricted by that. You can actually shoot a whole fucking movie like this in the one room and nobody would really know much of the difference. It really helps if you've get AI helps if you get the real locations and you can digitize those, but it's just going to get better and better in the next few months. I mean, it's just rapidly went in the last 10 months. It's went at a rapid pace. So next year at this time, it'll not even be a question. Nobody will know what the fuck's AI and what isn't. So it's liberating for that, but like I keep saying, I always like to. I don't want to sit the rest of my life and sit in front of a computer and make movies. I still want to work with people. I still like that performance-based working with people, but it's completely changing things. Thinking about the next films and what I can do for a micro budget. And if you're running out of time on the shoot and you say, "Oh, I've still got those scenes to get, those big scenes," then you can say, "Look, we don't need to go back to that location. Here's a little studio space that I've got. We can do the pickups, whether it's scenes in cars, where it's scenes in the original club that we were at, where it's scenes in an apartment specific, where it's scenes outside, where we can just come back for a day, two, whatever, and we don't have to run about everywhere, and we can do them all here." That's just insane, So it's not until you actually use this shit and you actually start everybody thinks you just prompt shit. You just do, and you just do a prompt. Oh, somebody's blowing shit up, and that's it. No, it's very detailed as well. You have to really learn these fucking prompts. So there's nothing lazy about it at all. And hey, I've made the fucking movie. I'm making the actual movies as well. So I'm not just plugging it in. I'm writing my scripts, I'm writing, directing, producing. I roll up my sleeves, I do all the fucking heavy work. But AI isn't helping to enhance things the way that Hollywood has had for years. But you would need huge budgets that you don't need today with AI, and it can do things that Hollywood couldn't do years ago. You couldn't replicate people the way it could. It can. There's just shit you can do. So yeah, it's nothing but positive for me. And I know the concerns AI in the world, of course, the big concerns outside the film business as well, of course. But it's you can resist against it, and you can say, "I'm just going to make films with no money and not make any money, and I'm going to do it the old way, or I'm going to beg the gatekeepers for money, and they'll control me and everyone else." The movie business has been shit. If it was a great business, if it was a really wonderful business, it's a very hard business. People don't make money. They're looking for money all the time, and then you make something that looks like you make something for $5K, and it looks like it costs $5 or less. So it's a tool. It's a creative tool, and if you've got a vision and you want to control your vision, then for me that's where it works. But it's just sinking into me how things will never be the same, in a good way for me. It's pretty incredible. And look, if everyone went back to the way it was, it wouldn't bother me either, because it would be on a ground level. If AI disappeared, social media disappeared, why wouldn't it bother me? For the simple reason, my first movie was made a way back before social media. It was made a way back before everybody was shooting in digital cameras. It was shot in film the old conventional way. It was made a way back before there was any making of videos. can see anything how you make a fucking film. I just went out and done it. So I could go back to the way that I started without any of this stuff at all, without any of these tools. I've done it the old fucking school way. But since it's here, and since it's moving forward, and since, evolution, and you gotta, then I'm fucking using it, to tell my stories. Because filmmaking is such a hard game. It's such a fucking grinding down game. And then you don't really get what you want to get. And then, never mind trying to make a living for it and everyone else. So anyway, just a raw video. I'm throwing it up, no editing this. But I'll probably do some on this YouTube channel. I don't like tutorial videos. I'm not a tutorial type person. There's people that do wonderful tutorial videos. That's what they do, and that's what they enjoy in doing YouTube, especially for AI. There's great ones that I've looked at and learned a lot from. That's what those people do. I'm making my films, I'm editing my films, whatever, but that's not my speciality. But I probably will do a sort of, I'm using the Higgs field seedance. I'll probably do a Higgs field for dummies. Because that's me, when I went on it, I had to learn just from the fucking basics and, learn from YouTubers online. So I'm not doing it detailed. I'll probably in the weeks ahead, but I want to get the edit finished. I'll go through how I do it, but not in detail. You do this and do this. Just, what is Higgs field, what is seedance, how do you turn your video into AI, how do you get your characters into another world, what I'm doing, etc. I'll do big, long kind of videos like that and put them on YouTube, how I'm doing it, how I'm pulling it off. Probably put it in my community platform first, which is on here, on school, for free. I'll give it for free, and then I'll throw it on YouTube, because I want my people that subscribe to that channel to get access to things first, But anyway, yeah, the dolls, if you're interested, please check out the website and post-production. My goal was to get it finished. It took longer because I had to raise money for these effects shots as well. But it's important for me to get the best film that I can get as well. But it will be finished before the end of the year. My supporters, my cast, my crew, they'll get to see it first before it goes publicly. I'm not going to be releasing it this year. It's going to be next year, early next year. But everybody that's been involved will get to see it this year. And anybody that's bought a Blu-ray, the dolls will get to see it early. And anybody that's signed up, everybody that's supported the project in some way will get to see it early. So if you do want to see it, you don't want to wait next year, join the website, buy a fucking download or something. Everybody that buys anything, mug, t-shirt, will get to see it early, on a stream. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.